Hello, lovely people, and today we are going to be discussing keeping your motivation. So, one wee picture that I really liked was success, go and get it. So, extremely simple. If you want to go and get something, you go and get it because if it's worth having, then we need to work hard for it. So, asking ourselves, why? So, keep reminding yourself of your big why. Why are you doing this in the first place? What are you going to gain from it? What are you going to lose if you don't do it? Or what are you going to not achieve if you don't do it. So remember who you're doing this for and why you're bettering yourself, because these are the questions that once you remind yourself why you're actually doing this, the buy-in is much, much more because you're doing this for you and you're doing this for your specific reasons. So what do you stand to gain if you achieve your goals? And what, again, we'll just use the opposite. What do you stand to not gain if you don't achieve them? And also, how did you feel before you started this? Because if you cast your mind back to before you started this, and then you remind yourself what kind of place you were in, how you felt about yourself, why you wanted to change so much, why you decided to actually do this, if you keep reminding yourself of that fact, you will then reignite that fire and then you will get yourself back in that motivated place. Now, I'm not saying that you've dropped motivation at all, but this is just a handy video and a handy tool just to kind of get that fire ignited again and just to get you motivated again. So, feeding the fire. So a lot of fire analogies, but I really do. I think that motivation and all the mindset stuff, this is where I really, really like going with people because if I can get you all stirred up and fired up and ready to go after this video and you're like, yes, I'm going to go and do it, then perfect, because that's what we need. That is what we need you being able to do. And not only for you to be able to come back and listen to this video, but when you have this inner dialogue in your own head, then you're on to a massive, massive, massive winner. Because if you can get yourself fired up with that inner dialogue and you look at your goals every single day and you know exactly what you're doing that day, that week, that month, then that's perfect because you can get yourself in the right frame of mind to attack those days and attack those weeks with as much motivation and enthusiasm as possible. So, on to feeding the fire. So, I want you to look back at everything that you've achieved so far. So, I want you to make sure that your goals and targets are exciting enough and motivating you, because if they're not scary, if they're not, I don't mean scary, but if they don't slightly scare you and if they don't really motivate you, then they're not going to get you out of bed in the morning. They're not going to get you up off the couch when you don't feel like it. They're not going to get you to the gym when it's absolutely disgusting weather outside. So these are the goals, these are the reasons that you need for yourself in order to get you through those hard times. So I want you to listen to anything motivational every single day that you can. So anything that motivates you, whether it be a song, whether it be a podcast, whether it be a YouTube video, whether it be a video of you like previously, or whether it be a picture that you've got that you just hate, that you just think that is the last thing that I want to be in the world, then use it. Because any motivation that you can use, clothing as well, clothing's a massive one. If you can use any type of stimulus as motivation and you constantly go back to that thing that motivates you, and potentially you could have five different things, but if you've got different methods of motivating you, then your amount of dips and motivation will reduce and reduce and reduce, because you know that anytime you get demotivated and you recognize the signs, that you go to whatever source of motivation that you've got, because it just takes literally a 2 minute video on YouTube, for example, of somebody just like with, again, it could be like inspiring music behind it, it could be whatever it needs to be, but the main thing is it motivates you, and it motivates you for your reasons. So if you need, for example, this video, to just listen to it again and again and go, you know what, he's right. I'm going to get up, I'm going to go and do what I need to do, then go for it. So I don't want you to go one day without seeing your goals. Actually, I don't want you to go a couple of hours without seeing your goals, because if you can constantly see your goals over and over and over again, then you're going to be putting yourself in the right frame of mind all the time to be able to achieve your goals. And also, so the last one is have your visual motivators visible to see multiple times a day. So I'll put a wee picture in. So this person's phone, they have just got how bad do you want it. Now that could be anything in the world. It could be a picture of what you want to achieve. It could be a picture of where you don't want to be. It could be a quote. It could be anything at all. But think how many times that you open your phone per day, and that'll be the first thing that you see. So you're seeing that potentially anywhere between 20 to 50 times a day, depending on how busy you are on your phone. If you're not somebody who's busy on their phone, though, then you wouldn't use that because you're not going to see that multiple times a day. So, say you were somebody who worked from home and you don't know, you spent a lot of time at your desk, if you've got one, or on the couch or whatever, then you would put it on a bit of paper and put it up on the wall, or like sellotape it to somewhere, your laptop screen, or like have it as your laptop background. Anything at all that you are going to see multiple times a day is going to be absolutely massive. So, last thing, don't let them hold you back. So, recognizing what derails you and your progress and what keeps you on track. So, for example, drinking too much at the weekend leaves you feeling sluggish, demotivated, and not doing what you need to do. Going more than 2 days without exercising, being too flexible with your diet, so somebody who actually needs structure in their life, falling back into bad habits, spending too much time on your phone or social media, and letting situations or emotions affect your routine. So, any one of these, if you go back and read them and go, you know what, I do spend too much time on my phone or social media, or I do go more than 2 days without exercise and then I find it's really hard to get back into it again, then don't do it. Just say to yourself, I am not doing it. And it doesn't mean that going 2 days without exercising, it doesn't have to be 2 days without intense, mega sweaty exercise sessions. It could just be going out a 10-minute, 5-minute walk, whatever. But it's keeping you in the loop, and it's keeping you in the mental discipline of doing those habits again and again and again. So if we can keep you out of the bad habits and in the good habits more, again, 70-30 ratio, then it means that your success rate is going to be massive, because you're not going to have lulls and you're not going to have really good weeks and then really bad weeks. It's just always going to be very consistent and 70% weeks all the time. All right. So that is us covered, keeping your motivation. I will see you in the next video.